Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's sports podcast. It's Friday, the 5th of March 2021. And this week's news headlines start with the cricket. England are currently under the cosh a little bit at the moment against India. Rishabh Pant's just been out after smashing 100, putting England on the back foot after looking like they were fighting back in the fourth test. So I think India have got quite a good lead now, and it looks like they may sneak the series. Well, not sneak the series, they're going to win it 3-1. We can't really say we could have got a two-all draw if it had gone our way, but it'd been a bit unjust possibly. So this means that India may well qualify for the World Test Championship in the summer against New Zealand at Lords. So may the best team wins, all I can say. And the only thing is about Australia now get knocked out, so maybe in a way it's a good thing for us. It will cheer some English people up. But the performance of the bowling outfit has been disappointing this first innings for England, and the carrying Don Bess, unfortunately, his confidence seems to be knocked by the press. Possibly, I don't know if he's read any of the comments, but there's been a bit of criticism, and it must have knocked his confidence. He's only a young lad, so hopefully he can come back from this. But we are playing basically a bowler light because his confidence looks totally shattered. So. But we'll see how England build for the future. Obviously, the T20 matches start next Friday. 5 of those, followed by 3 one-day internationals, all against India, building up to the T20 World Cup at the end of the year. There's also the IPL before that. My personal view is that I'm more of a purist in terms of cricket. I prefer Test cricket and 50-over game to the 20-over game. The 20-over game obviously brings lots of people in. People go to watch the Blast games, and they're going to go and watch the 100 games, no doubt, this summer. But in my view, are they going for the right reasons? I mean, some people just like going out and getting drunk and having a good time. Cricket should be about both, really. It should be more about the game to me than the actual drinking side of it. You can go and get drunk anytime you want, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not a massive drinker as it is. So, anyway, let me know your thoughts on T20 cricket, whether you think it's the right way to go, not just monetary wise, but in terms of the game of cricket itself. In the world of football, we saw the sad passing of Glenn Roeder earlier in the week, at age 65. I think he had a brain tumour, had been ill for some time on and off, and I believe he was ill at one stage when he was managing. He had to terminate his career at one point, or curtail his career while he was receiving treatment for illness. But he came across a really nice man. There's been lots of nice tributes to him this week. We've obviously heard about Peter Lorimer as well, who's in the final stages of brain cancer, and that's very sad as well. Another legend of the game from Leeds United. So sad news there. Tiger Woods continues to make his recovery from the car crash he had last week, and the players paid a tribute to him on Sunday, wearing his famous Tiger red, a lot of them. So he's making a recovery. Hopefully he'll be back to somewhat like full fitness in a not too distant future. As for his golf career, well, we don't know what's going to happen with that, do we, yet? But we'll have to just wait and see. This weekend coming in the football, we've got the big Manchester derby on Sunday afternoon. Manchester City against Manchester United. I think Manchester United, even if they beat Manchester City, is still going to be finding it tough to get anywhere near them. The result against Crystal Palace this week was very disappointing. It was a poor game. I watched it. It was foggy, drab, drizzly, and that wasn't the weather. That was the game itself. So very disappointing. Another poor result for Liverpool last night against Chelsea, losing at home again. I think it's the 5th home defeat in a row. I believe the Chelsea did play well though. Mason Mount totally controlled the game. He was fantastic. I've got to say, I was surprised that Jamie Carragher gave the man of the match to Andreas Christensen, who did play well, but I thought Mount basically run the game, and I think he should have got the man of the match. So Chelsea are going well at the moment. Disappointing result for Villa against Sheffield United. But just didn't look like scoring. A bit like Liverpool really. Once they got behind, they struggled to get back into it, especially without the creativity of Jack Grealish. They did try. They fought hard, but Sheffield United were very resilient and deserved the win at the end of the day. Tottenham have a good win for them away at Fulham 1-0. And Everton scraped past West Brom as well, so that's a good result. It takes a bit of pressure off Newcastle, who are starting to drop back into the relegation fight. Obviously, we've got, as well as Man City, Man United this weekend, we've got West Ham Leeds Monday night, and we've got Villa Wolves tomorrow, and we've got Liverpool Fulham as well on Sunday. So there's some of the games to look forward to this weekend. Be interested to see how Leicester get on now. They've lost Harvey Barnes as well as James Maddison. They obviously quite important creative characters within the team, and it may restrict the amount of chances that Vardy gets up front, who's not been quite the same since his wife had a baby, and also since he's had his hernia operation, he's only scored one goal at 13 or 14 games now, so not quite his best, but I'm sure he'll fire back into action shortly. As far as FC Halifax Town are concerned, they had a creditable 1-1 draw with Hartlepool during the week on Tuesday. Could have gone either way. Danny Williams saw red just before the end for being a last man and denying a goal scoring opportunity, but it was a good performance. I think Hartlepool came to the Shea thinking they were going to win. Halifax put up a good performance. In fact, they could have probably won it themselves. So I think a draw was a fair result. It's Wealdstone for the Shaman tomorrow. A game we really need to win. Wealdstone aren't one of the better teams in the league. But we did. I think that was the game where we played with 9 men and we lost it 1-0 at the end at the Shea to them. So it'd be nice to get revenge over them, and also be nice to see some of the players coming back from injury. I believe that Nathan Clark's close to a return, and Kian Spencer's close to making a debut, perhaps for the Shaman. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on once he's playing for us. But we're doing all right at the moment. And I'm hopefully get a few more points on the board and get us back at the top half. And I'd like to still think we might be able to make the playoffs. There's been a bit of talk in the press about whether it was right or wrong of Town to take a 400 grand loan, part of the scheme that has been set up with Sport England. People are blaming the government for issues or blaming the board for taking the loan, but at the end of the day I think National League board has to hold their hands up and say they didn't really interpret the agreement that was being made with the government back in November correctly. I don't know what your thoughts are on that. If you've got any views on that, please leave them down in the comments below. So what else have we got coming up apart from the football this weekend? Well, we've got the golf continuing. I think it's the Players' Championship tournament, and Rory McIlroy made a good start yesterday, so let's see if he can go on and win one. He hasn't won that much recently. He's performed fairly well, but it's been a while since he's really been in the public eye, so yeah. In Formula 1, the new Mercedes testing session and unveiling of the car was done this week on Sky, showing interviews with Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. That was an interesting perspective from the drivers, and also on how the new car's likely to perform. Obviously, we're building up to the season now. The season starts this month. So motorsports tends to kick in at this time of year. Obviously, Speedway doesn't kick in until May. The Grand Prix start in May. In the Speedway world, Sheffield have signed Adam Ellis for their Premiership team, and they look to be putting a pretty strong team together now, actually, and it could be dark horses for the title. I think Josh Bates at number 7, I think, is a ridiculous thing, though. As a 4-star rider, I don't think he should have been rated that low. He shouldn't be one of the rising stars. He's been around for a while now. Again, if you've got any comments or views on that, let me know in the comments below. Bellevue have completed their team now by re-signing Dan Bewley to go with the Worrell brothers. They've got Charles Wright, Brady Kurtz, Tom Brennan and Jai Etheridge. So it's a competitive team. It's pretty alright, really. Hans Anderson's returned for another season at Peterborough. He seems to be happy to be back there. Seems to be happy and comfortable at Peterborough. So good luck to him there. And I'm looking forward to the season. It's a little way off yet. With regards to Oddsall, work's continuing at a pace. Doing very well with it all. The shale's down, the fence is in. It's looking like a stadium again. The opening meeting will be on the 22nd of May. That's the Bangor meeting, which was publicised previously. But the first Formula 1 meeting is going to be at 7:30 p.m. on the 31st of May. I'm hoping to try and get a ticket for that now, but they're hoping to release more tickets for sale. They go on sale on the 5th of April, so if you're interested, try and get a ticket then. Just make sure you leave one for me, because I was disappointed to miss out on the initial allocation. I tried, but just missed out over near the computer at the time when the tickets were available, and they sold out pretty quickly, so which wasn't a surprise. So I think we're all looking forward to the return of stock cars at Oddsall. Rugby League, Super League returns this month. I've seen the fixtures have been announced as which ones have been shown on Sky. I don't follow the rugby as closely as I used to. I know Halifax Panthers have got a warm-up practice match against Huddersfield Giants. I think it may be tomorrow, Saturday the 6th of March. And Kerrier have joined with the police and everybody else involved with the club to say please don't go to the ground. So if you're interested in going to that, please don't go to the ground. Stay away. You can get your autographs at another time. It's not important in the grand scheme of things, is it? Okay, so they're the main things coming up in the next few days. The Champions League second leg matches, I believe, start next week, Tuesday and Wednesday. So the 3 English teams, Liverpool, Chelsea and Manchester City, are all taking leads into the second leg, all at home in the second leg. So you'd like to think all 3 of them will progress. And the next round of the Europa League starts on Thursday, well, the first leg. So the big draw in that round is going to be Manchester United and AC Milan, and it's going to likely to pit Zlatan Ibrahimovic against his old teammates. So I'll be interested to see how that one goes. I saw a few people complaining, saying Manchester United have been drawn against Milan, and then you've got teams like Molde against Granada drawing each other who shouldn't be in it. But that's the hazard of an open draw, I suppose. They've got the right to be in there, they've qualified. So good luck to all the teams, and obviously want to see the British teams do well again, and see if the four of them that are left in, Rangers, Manchester United, Arsenal and Tottenham, can progress to the last eight. It'd be good to see if we can all, we've done well in Europe in the last couple of years, or last few years, of the English and British teams. So let's see if we can get some trophies on the board again. So I think that's about it for this week. It's a little bit shorter than normal. There hasn't been as much sporting action, I'd say, of any real note this week. Not as much as normal. So join me again next week. Until then, bye for now.